The following is a presentation from PokerStars.com. Previously, on the big game, Daniel claimed the deuce of diamonds.
Every time I get it today, I'm going to re-raise with it.
Jason Calacanis talked Kid Poker into making a very bad call.
I could have flopped a straight. I could be on a flush draw. I could have quads. I'm a donkey. I don't know how to play this game.
Oh, you got me.
And the river was cruel to our loose cannon.
Oh, nice river.
You suck at it every time you get in bad.
On a table full of sharks, it's time to either sink or swim tonight on the big game.
Can you feel the love?
This is the PokerStars.com Big Game.
Welcome to Las Vegas. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose, where tonight there's over $700,000 on the table as play continues in our state-of-the-art poker room. Poker pro David Williams, the man dressed for success, is up $1,200 this week.
The man in the 10-gallon hat is the godfather of poker, Doyle Brunson. He's still up almost $75,000.
Internet entrepreneur Jason Calacanis is on the comeback trail, but still down $34K.
And this is my own personal deuce to seven triple draw sensei, Abe Mosseri. He's up $14,000.
And meet Will Davis, our loose cannon, an aspiring poker pro who's down almost $39,000, but he seems to have the skills to make a comeback. And in case you missed it, Will is on a mission tonight to bust Daniel Negreanu. And right now, the man with a target on his back is standing by with our Amanda Leatherman.
All right, Daniel, you're down about $20,000 right now in the game. How do you plan to get it back?
Good question. Rob one of these guys. There's a long, the game's actually just about to heat up. You can start to feel if people are dancing a little bit more. I lost one big pot in a weird spot and got talked out of my own money, which is weird.
That never happens to you.
It won't happen again. It's just, I never played with him before. I didn't know it was up, and now I feel like I have a better idea, but oops. Oh well.
How do you think the loose cannon's playing?
He's good. He's a real poker player, you can tell. He's played, probably more than a lot of these guys, because he 20 tables online. He's like a big-time guy, so yeah, he's hardly a loose cannon. He's stuck right now, though, so I expect him to start gambling a lot more.
So maybe that means you'll start gambling more?
I'm ready to gamble. I'm stuck.
All right, get back to your seat.
Quick reminder for the rules of our loose cannon. Each one staked $100,000, keeps all profits above the initial $100,000, and at season's end, the loose cannon who's won the most money earns a North American Poker Tour passport worth $50K.
Or you're talking a little smack over there.
No smack. I said you talked me out of my money, and
Oh, really?
Hey, yeah, that's what I said. I told the truth.
Wow. I got credit.
Be careful accepting either kind of credit from a poker player. Beware all things meant to keep you at the table longer.
Action begins with David Williams, suited connector.
I'm up 60 or 70, I guess, still.
Raising to 1,200. Will Davis folds. Abe Mosseri, ace-queen suited.
I'm going to raise.
Announcing a raise.
I'll raise the pot. How much is that?
Makes it 4,800 to go.
I will fold the pot.
Calacanis folds the Brunson hand. Negreanu folds ace-jack. And Doyle's out as well. David Williams makes the call.
Kind of a loose call from David. Wants to play the first hand of the night.
And the flop comes. 9-king-jack, 2 spades.
The play here would be to make a continuation bet from Abe. It'll be interesting to see if David sticks around with that small of a piece. He's just got a pair of 9s. Williams
has checked on over to Abe Mosseri. No stranger to big games, but really known as a limit player. He bets 7,500.
David also knows that the correct move for Abe is a continuation bet. Let's see if he's a believer.
I'm gonna race.
Clearly, he is not a believer. It's a very strong raise and a very strong position. Check raise.
Raises to 30,000. Mosseri folds.
There's an 8. I just saw the 8 of clubs.
The other one was a king.
All right.
I folded the best hand then.
David Williams looks like the cat that ate the canary.
Shake it off, kid. It's gonna be okay.
No.
You look like your puppy got run over by a car. He's in shock.
Why did that 80 have to flip up?
So much for your table presence. You have to rebuild it.
We can rebuild it. We have the technology.
So while David is stacking Abe's chips, a quick look at the rules. Every week a play lasts exactly 150 hands. Action pre-flop is pot limit, then becomes no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player must begin with at least 100 grand, but can rebuy for up to $500,000.
So we got 3 done, which means we have 60 hands left.
Probably a little more than that. I don't think we've played 90 yet, have we?
We were at a little before 90. This is 91.
Let's give David Williams a producing credit for paying attention.
And I was counting.
Will Davis, ace 10, raises to 1,200 here on hand 91.
I am not getting involved in the cannon.
Action folds around to Doyle Brunson.
That's pretty cool.
He's out too.
What was your other card there, David? Now that you showed
It's a
one.
mystery.
I didn't really care until you showed that first one.
I didn't mean to show it, but that's a mystery.
Just talking to everybody just shows what a big dumbbell I really am.
David calls.
I mean, this guy knows how many hands we played.
Big flop for Will Davis. Williams checks. Davis trip aces. Bets 2,000.
Bet Will would love to see another check raise out of David. Let's see if he gets queued again with 9-8 suited.
It's just a call. Jack of clubs on the turn. No way Williams can win the hand unless he bluffs Davis out of the pot. Check by Williams, check by Davis.
Will's decided to slow down, try to squeak in another bet on the river.
Queen of diamonds on the river. Williams checks. Bet of 4,000 by Will Davis. Williams is out of here. And our loose cannon continues to inch his way back toward Profitville.
I'm gonna start mucking like this. Start passing my muck over.
Yeah, that was a good card to show.
But I didn't intend to show it. I didn't want to show that. He's trying to figure out what the other card was.
I can't figure it.
It makes no sense.
Doesn't make any. A 9-8 of clubs. I'm thinking that's it. That's what I got.
Could have been the ace of clubs.
Nah.
Nice read, Abe.
Could have been 2 8s. Could have been 7, 8, 8, 9, 2 8s, ace 8.
That's a 9-8 of clubs.
Could have been, watch this, people at home. Watch this. Check me out.
I don't think you would have done that with 2 8s.
Why? It's the same thing as the 8, 9 of clubs.
No, because you have a little better chance at the 8-9 of clubs.
Except 8-9 of clubs is what he did have.
I thought it was a queen 10.
Action folds all the way around to the blinds. David Williams limping in. Queen Jack suited for the big blind, and our loose cannon Will Davis raises to 1,600. Williams makes the call.
It was no sweat. I felt good about it. I was like, woo.
Blind versus blind in this flop. 9 Jack 10.
This is a very wet or draw heavy flop.
Williams checks.
A lot of players are going to catch a piece of this with most of their ranges.
Davis bets 3,000 with top pair and an open-ended straight draw, and Williams calls with bottom pair. Deuce of hearts on the turn.
Either one of these guys is going to like the heart.
Goes check, check. 3 of clubs on the river. Check by Williams.
Will still got the best hand.
Bet 6,000.
I'm going to pay you off once because you keep doing this. Every time I bet the check the turn, he checks and he just fires the river every time. I think I got to pay the $6,000 information bet. Jack. Yeah, that's good. It was a good check on the turn. Made you some money.
That's how those internet guys play it. They check that top pair on the turn, and they value bet the river when you check.
I call the flop, he checks the turn, and then I check fold the river, check fold the river, check fold the river. I'm like, oh, I got to call him eventually.
The big game is just getting going. Much more from Las Vegas coming your way after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas for more of the big game.
I'm David Williams, and I'm on the big game. The only studying I really do of the other players is when I'm at the table with them, but I actually make sure that even when I'm not in a hand to really be paying attention to what's going on, which a lot of players don't. When they fold, they're checking their phone or they're staring off into space, and even if I fold, I'm still there at the table checking out everything my opponents are doing, because you never know when that's going to help you in a hand against them yourself.
Chris.
I'm sorry, I was busy tweeting. Action on Jason Calacanis.
Did you learn nothing from that?
Sorry, I'll pay attention. Suited connectors for Calacanis.
Yeah, that's. No, no.
Unless you're able to bluff me out of it.
He limps in. Daniel also suited connectors. Raises to 1,600. Doyle folds. More spades for David Williams. We're going to run out of spades in this deck. He calls. Will Davis folds. Abe folds. Calacanis folds.
Well, money has value.
2 players to the flop. Okay, I lied. There are more spades. Deuce, queen, jack. Flushes for both. Williams the nut flush.
Calacanis also would have flopped a flush.
Negreanu bets 3,200. Williams calls.
This is very big trouble for Daniel. They say the ace of spades is the death card. In this case, it's got Daniel drawing dead.
The turn. 3 of clubs.
His 3 changes nothing. Daniel almost certainly believes himself to have the best hand.
He bets 9,000.
David knows he has the absolute nuts here. He's trying to figure out the best way to extract value from Daniel.
And in Williams' opinion, that's just to make the call.
David decides to play it slow, look for a big bet on the river.
And the river card's the ace of hearts.
No help from the board for Daniel. If a spade had hit, he could maybe get away from it.
Daniel bets 6,000 on the river.
You can see David's taking his time here. He's got the absolute stone ones. He's most certainly going to raise. He's thinking to himself, how much will you call, Daniel?
Williams raises to 36,000.
How much more?
30,000 more.
Daniel calls and sees the terrible news.
Welcome to my world.
I had a flush too.
We could have got it all in on the flop.
Jesus.
As bad as that was for Daniel, he knows it could have been worse.
20, 30, 40, 48, 50.
Counting how much you could have got.
Left 50,000 out there.
I was hoping you raised me. That's how sick that is.
I left 50,000 out there.
Even though David took down about 50K from Daniel, he's pretty sure he could have gotten more. If David had played more aggressively earlier in the hand, Daniel may not have put him on such a big hand, and he could have maybe gotten some more money. Personally, I never trust a man who starts his day with his tie already loosened.
How's it make you feel? I didn't even wear one to the booth.
I'd just be happy if you showed up with pants.
Thank you. Action folds on over to Abe Mosseri, who raises to 1,200. Calacanis folds. 7-6 offsuit for Daniel on the button.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Doyle not too fond of Daniel's raise to 4,000, and so he folds.
Even though Abe does enter a lot of pots light, I'm going to go ahead and say that this just might be a steam raise from Daniel.
David Williams still mulling over 8 deuce offsuit.
It is the deuce of diamonds.
Huge raise.
I want to fold it no matter what I had for one stinking raise, but for 2.
See, now I can do it.
And he shows the deuce of diamonds.
That would have been a fun shove if I re-raised.
A deuce is down.
Would have just been over, you win.
You just want to run me over. That's all.
We both tried to there.
Well, she was just trying to run you over.
I had nothing to do with people. I just wanted to do the deuce of diamonds move. I just wanted to show Daniel his own little move and go back into my nut peddling, waiting for nut flushes.
Hey guys, just want to interrupt for a second. This is about to be the 100th hand, so pressure's on for the loose cannon.
Will seems a little shaken by that comment. Joe, let's see where he stands.
Here we see last week's loose cannon, Ernest Wiggins. He played 150 hands, then decided to stand pat with over 50K in profits. Will is down almost 25K and needs to turn a profit in order to win anything.
And remember, the loose cannon who wins the most money at season's end walks away with the North American Poker Tour passport worth $50,000.
Will needs to get to work.
Time is running out.
150?
Plenty of time.
That was 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is 100.
Welcome to the Century Club.
Rain Man, David Williams at it again. Hope he makes it home in time for Wapner.
How did I ever get out of bed?
Play with guys that know exactly how many hands we played.
Action folds on over to David. It's suited connectors for the third time tonight and a raise to 1,200.
David's won a few pots. He's keeping his foot on the gas, trying to play his rush.
And he'll face two other players on the flop as Mosseri and Kalakanis made the call. 7 ace 4, 2 clubs.
Check.
Check, check on over to Williams.
Everybody's missed, which should work out well for David if he does keep his foot on the gas.
Which he does, betting 2,700. Mosseri folds. So's Kalakanis.
Little hat trick for David Williams, 3 in a row.
Well, David did start the night almost even, but now he is on a rush and making his move. See if anybody can slow him down when we return to Las Vegas for more of the big game after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, alongside Joe Stapleton. I'm Chris Rose. You are watching the big game. Action begins with Big Papa. Doyle Brunson remains silent. David Williams folds. So does the loose cannon. Abe Mosseri races to 1,200. Jason Kalakanis out.
It's out.
Daniel, Queens.
We play Chinese poker while they go to the bathroom, okay?
What is Chinese poker?
Daniel just called.
You don't know what Chinese poker is, you dumbbell?
The flop, Jack 10-9. Check by Negreanu. Check by Mosseri. Daniel's card, the deuce of diamonds on the turn. That's 3,000.
Daniel's taking a stab at it now. Abe's picked up a flush draw to go with his pair and straight draw.
Makes the call. The river, the ace of clubs. Negreanu checks. Mosseri checks.
Well, that's good.
No, I was saying, ugh, what am I doing? Why did I check?
Daniel tried to set up Abe. Got a little scared by that board.
Yeah.
He still picks up a nice little pot.
See, that one won't make it on TV.
No, because I checked the river.
They won't make that one on TV for sure.
Now Abe makes a bad read.
I put it this way, I want to stay pat in case it comes up. No more cards.
Doyle making a little draw poker joke. Not our game of choice tonight.
Texas Hold'em is, and our loose cannon raises to 1,200.
Could this be it?
Action folds on over to Daniel.
Well, I'm going to gamble with you.
All right.
I probably am too if I can find my hole card. No, I ain't with that one. Whoops, give me.
Oh, God.
Remember, Will's wife can't stand Daniel, so she's loving this.
Let's get something funky going on here and ship it in.
Do it.
All right.
The flop, 9 deuce 10.
Check it.
Both players check.
Daniel's got that pesky deuce of diamonds.
The turn.
It's starting to get funky.
It is starting to get funky. Let's see if I got a heart.
Daniel bets 2,200.
I do.
Got a heart you could just ship.
Will's in decent shape with 2 overs and the nut flush draw, but this is Daniel doing what he does best, getting a player to talk about his hand.
7 of spades on the river.
Nothing.
2 pair.
That's good. Oh, the deuce of diamonds.
I don't like throwing that one away. You didn't have a heart, did you?
I think I did.
Or did you have diamonds?
Ace of hearts, I thought.
Okay. Yeah, that's a heart, all right.
Telling you the truth.
You move in, I would have called anyway.
That will be on TV. He sold the 2 deuces. Negreanu special.
Now everyone's a producer.
Do you have Final Cut on the show?
Yeah, I get everything, Gabe. When the show comes out, you're going to have a full head of hair, because I'm going to have...
All right, you'll get in there.
Yeah.
Drawing my hair. That's good.
Industrial Light and Magic.
Kalakanis and George Lucas often get together on the Skywalker Ranch to count their money.
Daniel pocket 5s to start off this hand. Raises to 1,200. Doyle folds. 8-6 offsuit for David Williams, who's out of the way. King Trey for our loose cannon, who folds. Abe's in with pocket 4s.
Who called, Abe? Let's do this, Abe.
Once again.
The flop, 6-8 ace, all spades. Mosseri checks. Daniel checks.
Abe's behind, but he is holding the only spade.
Ace of hearts on the turn. Abe fires 2,000. Daniel calls.
The reputation of Bet Mosseri has preceded him.
The river card, 4 of hearts, giving Abe a full house.
Now all of a sudden Abe is hoping Daniel somehow has a flush or maybe even just an ace.
Bet of 9,000.
Abe.
Daniel Daniel.
What are you doing over here? How much is in there? Lots. Oh, you're betting a lot. You're betting a lot of pots, like almost the whole thing. You want maximum value.
Maximum value.
Daniel's noticed that Abe has overbet the pot.
For what? What do you have? You good?
What do I have?
I don't even know. I'm probably just going to give you the money because what the hell.
If Daniel thought he had the best hand on the turn, this 4 really wouldn't change much. By overbetting, Abe has polarized his hand and made it look either very strong or very weak.
I think... I don't know. I have no idea what you have. Absolutely none, so just pay you.
Full house.
That's good. That's going to win. What?
Full house.
Oh, God, I had him till the river. Sick. That's about right. Good hand. You had the spades. Spade, it wouldn't have cost me money.
Abe picks up a pot of more than 25,000.
I got lucky against you one time in my life.
Happens.
Abe rakes in another pot while Daniel keeps paying people off. Find out if those trends continue. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the big game, where our loose cannon, Will Davis, an aspiring poker pro from Ohio, is living his dream of playing with the best.
I'm Will Davis, and I'm on the big game. You know, I wouldn't say it was a moment when I knew I was good enough to do it. I always had the confidence that I could do it. It was when I finally decided to say no to Wall Street that I said, you know what, I'm just going to stick with poker, and that's when I got the commitment to do it. Getting a sponsorship would be my ultimate dream. Getting the passport would be the pinnacle of my profession in my mind. Growing up in Cleveland, growing up a fan of Cleveland sports teams, it's really hard. We like to practice cautious optimism. Even when things look really good, we know we'll mess it up somehow. Having a chance to play with these guys, because this is my profession, it's just it's a once-in-a-lifetime shot. It'd be like getting to play a pickup game with LeBron.
Well, right now, Will Davis is having his shots blocked by this dream team.
And this could become Will's nightmare if he can't get out of the loss column soon. Remember, our loose cannon only gets to keep the profits he makes at the end of 150 hands. But being that he's from Cleveland, Will's probably no stranger to disappointment.
Yes, that's how we roll. Joe, thank you very much.
The economy is based on LeBron James.
Good point, it is.
Do you live in New York?
No, I didn't my whole life, but the last couple of years in LA. I was bi-coastal for a while. But I grew up in New York.
Bi-coastal.
Bi-coastal, you should try it.
A lot of people are doing that these days.
You should try it, Daniel.
Doyle is raised to 1,500. Action folds to Abe, who makes the call.
There you go, Papa.
Calacanis folds.
3 action players.
That's right, Daniel's made the call. The flop. 4-5 queen. Daniel checks.
Top pair for Doyle.
Fires 4 grand. Abe with middle pair calls, and Daniel folds.
A lot of history between Doyle and Abe. They play high-stakes limit poker all the time together.
Ace of clubs on the turn.
And Abe has just outdrawn Doyle. Abe's got 2 pair. Doyle's got the 1.
Plus a flush draw, and Doyle bets 9,000.
Now Abe's probably noticed there are some flush and some straight draws out there. He's going to want to put some more money into this pot while he thinks his hand is still best. Doyle's let out twice, and a big raise here could get Doyle to commit all of his chips while he's a huge dog.
Abe does not raise, he just calls.
I'm a little surprised Abe didn't raise. Might be trying to slow play his 2 pair.
The river card, the king of clubs, completing the flush for Doyle Brunson.
That's right, Doyle now has the nuts.
Bets 19,000. Quick call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, flush.
Somehow playing this passively saved Abe from losing any more money on the hand, but he might be regretting not raising the turn.
Doyle rakes in a pot of nearly $70,000.
How much do you want to bet Abe is not that quiet inside his head right now?
I wish I'd have checked it now.
Joe, Doyle seems to think that Abe would have bet into him on the river, allowing Doyle to re-raise.
He might be right about that, but what Doyle's actually saying is that he wants Abe's money specifically. Mosseri and Brunson are big-time cash game rivals, so even though Doyle is up over $107,000, the money means a little bit more when coming from Abe.
I'll know in June if you could have called a re-raise if I'd have checked it. I know you'd have bet.
On the river?
Yeah.
What would you have done if I raised on the turn?
It's a good question, Dave. I don't know. That's the reason I think it'd be hard to track me, because I don't know myself what I'm going to do. So, how can the poker track?
I almost did raise on the turn.
I probably would have gone out.
Huh?
I don't know. Depends on how I felt.
Gave me to gamble more than I want to gamble.
That's how I got it in that jackpot against those two kings with that ace-queen. They straddled, re-straddled, and re-straddled.
Yeah, I remember that, and then you just moved in with ace-queen.
20,000 laying out there.
Yeah.
Doyle recounting a legendary TV hand.
At 150.
Our loose cannon straddles. Action over to Daniel.
Mattis, I woke up with kings. Said yum yum.
Yeah.
Raise.
And if Daniel hadn't said he had an ace, I probably would only run it once.
Oh, you heard that, and then yeah.
Doyle folds. Yum yum kings for David Williams.
I don't know.
Just calls.
Bit of a slow play with kings. Maybe he wants to trap both the loose cannon and Daniel.
Davis comes along for the ride. 6-jack deuce on the flop. Check by Williams, check by Davis.
David's slow play has worked out so far. Top pair in all red is going to look pretty good to Daniel,
who bets 5,500.
especially since Daniel's stuck in a bit steaming at the moment.
David raises to 15-5.
Whose idea was the straddle?
Yours. It's a good idea for you.
You know, David has check raised and he's doubled the size of the pot. These are both strong moves. It's possible Daniel could get away.
Or maybe not. He calls. The turn. The 4 clubs giving Negreanu 2 pair.
This is such a dirty card. I mean, who can really put someone on Jack 4? David will never see this coming.
Williams bets 27,000.
Daniel's lucky to have improved, but also lucky to spike a card that allows him to get value. If another Jack or even the 4 of diamonds had come, it would have been very tough to get value, but Daniel happened to turn the best hand on a board that looks pretty innocuous to 2 kings. The way David's played this hand, he's played it like he's got an absolute monster. Daniel's pretty sure he's got the best hand. He's just trying to figure out a way to get all the money in.
I'm all in.
That's one way to do it.
Daniel is all in.
Which is it?
50, 74, 79, 80. Call? Once or twice?
Okay, we want to see hands first or no?
Well, I don't care. I'll do twice either way.
I'll do twice.
All right, twice.
So that's
is nice.
4. It didn't hit him, and it did. 2 times.
Run it twice.
I raised it 10,000.
I backdoor lots of backdoor stuff.
Daniel trying to justify why he called on the flop.
I said that's 8.
8 out.
We will see the river card twice, playing for half the pot each time.
What are you rooting for over there? Chop or blood? Chop or blood?
Am I allowed to say?
There is no cheering in the press box.
You feel a chop? I feel a chop, big time. You feel a chop?
I just want to win the first one.
That's all, yeah. That's not greedy.
I'm not greedy.
The first river card is a jack.
Oh, that's it. That's a good one for me.
Daniel has won half the pot.
But David can still hit a king, a 6, or a deuce. The 6 or a deuce would counterfeit Daniel's hand and give David kings up.
The second river is a 7.
It's 27 plus 50, 74, 80,000, 1096.
Daniel Negreanu doubles through David Williams, taking down a pot worth more than $250,000, the biggest one so far on the big game. As the boys settle up at the table, we'll see if David can rebound when we come back. Welcome back to Las Vegas for the big game, where our loose cannon, Will Davis, has fewer than 40 hands to turn a profit and keep some cash. But the big news is Daniel Negreanu, who just raked in a pot of more than 250 grand. Kid Poker is with Amanda.
Daniel, you just won the biggest pot of the night.
Was that the big? Was it really?
That was the biggest pot of the night.
I mean, I feel just lucky there. You know.
Yeah.
I cut a 4. That was pretty sick.
Jack 4. I couldn't even see the hand, but I was trying to figure out what you had. And
Well, I knew David was really. I didn't think he was bluffing, but once I had Jackson 4s, I was like, I don't know, should I wait? Should I do this? Went all in. I got lucky and I won both. So
now you're happy.
Yeah, I wasn't so happy earlier, but I'm happier now.
All right, get back in there.
Okay.
Daniel's got a little spring in his step.
Funny how that works after winning a $250,000 pot.
I didn't say I owned you or anything. I just said I got lucky. Don't worry.
There's a balance to all things, and right there is the yang.
Seems so happy, doesn't he?
Sorry, Dave.
Doyle Brunson straddles. So action will begin with the happy man, David Williams, who folds. So does our loose cannon, and Abe's out.
Raise the pot.
Jason Calacanis announces a raise.
What is that?
3,400. To 3,400.
Not a bad raise in an unopened pot, but Daniel's got a hand and chips to play with.
Now we both got a lot of money. We could play a big pot.
Nice.
Okay, let's try it. Is it 84? That's what I'm doing. I'm just saying.
84.
Not pot or anything, but just 84.
And look at the hand for Doyle Brunson.
Doyle has picked up more giant hands than the cleaning crew at an NCAA game. He straddled, so this time he's got pre-flop position. Doesn't look like he's going to slow play them this time.
Doyle's coming over the top to 28-4.
You can play a real big pot.
Yeah, raising out of position, that was a good idea.
The internet tycoon continues to get his firewall hacked.
And folds.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I honestly think Doyle is making one of them internet moves, the 4-bet bluff, but I don't have the balls to do anything about it, so I'm gonna fold. But I do think you're making a move.
Daniel folds.
Too chicken. I
And
should
by
just
that,
shove
he
it.
means
That's why you're the man.
I do think you were bluffing, but I don't know.
Bad read.
Doyle is officially inside Daniel's head.
Doyle was bluffing. He only had queens this time.
All week, Doyle has been getting monster hands, Joe.
He's been defying the odds. Kings, queens, queens, kings.
8-7 offsuit for the loose cannon, who raises.
I tell you what I noticed when I played, what's her name, Annette.
Annette, yeah?
She dang sure raised it the same amount on the button every time.
Talking about Annette Oberstad, won the WSOP Europe when she was 18 years old.
Little pot for Will.
I played her three different times. Every time she raised on the button. I mean, I just
100% of the time?
100%.
Yeah. Isaac Haxon does that too, that other kid. He raises 7-deuce offsuit. He raises 100%.
I don't know. I don't do it.
I don't do that either.
Well, let's see if that's true, Joe.
And there it is. It is true. Doyle has the lowest button raise percentage here at the table. All the other players raise in that position at least half the time, while our loose cannon leads in this stat with a whopping 75%.
Well, Doyle will be on the button this hand. Let's see if he holds to form. Abe folds.
You know, they say you're supposed to raise your button. Doyle's done it the least, and he's up the most.
Cool.
Calacanis limps in. Daniel's 7-4 suited.
Where's Abe's hand?
Abe's hand's in a month.
I thought he wanted to play a lot of hands.
I do want to play a lot of hands.
Daniel raises.
I've played more hands than you, buddy. I have definitely played more hands than you.
Yeah, Abe, he's got you there. Abe's got you there.
I played more hands than anybody. Maybe not you, Dan. Maybe.
Me?
Real close.
Calacanis calls.
It'd be interesting to see.
We're going to settle this argument right now. As you can see, Abe has seen the most flops. Daniel, second place.
Including this one, which comes out 5-7 jack, 2 clubs.
Calacanis is limp called with a big suited ace this time. Maybe he's finally tired of being 3-bet.
Fires 3,200. Daniel, middle pair, calls.
Pretty tough to chase out Daniel when he's got a pair.
Queen of clubs on the turn. Calacanis now with a gut shot straight draw, bets 6,000.
It's a pretty risky proposition to bet into Daniel when he's got any piece at all, especially when you didn't raise pre-flop.
Daniel calls.
Also bet that small reeks of weakness.
Ace of spades on the river. Top pair for Calacanis.
What the heck?
Bets 17,000.
You have it all?
No shame in folding.
Say what?
No shame in folding.
I might do that. What do you have?
Now not raising pre-flop may have helped out Calacanis. This bet looks a little bluffy.
You got me confused, I'll tell you that.
That is the idea, isn't it?
It's the idea? Just try to confuse me.
Worked last time.
What?
What?
Last hand it did work really well. You got me out.
Early in the game, we saw Jason talk Daniel out of 35,000. He's giving it one more go.
Daniel folds.
You had a flush.
Huh?
Flush.
You think you had a flush?
Chip the dealer 100, I'll show it.
Nah, it's all right.
Daniel makes the right move, and we've got lots more action right after this.
I need to start being a cannon here.
You're starting to realize that, huh?
Welcome back to Las Vegas as we continue the big game. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose. Action for hand 117 out of 150 starts with Jason Calacanis looking at King 10 suited. And he limps in. Daniel, 10-9 offsuit, raises to 1,600. Action folds around to the loose cannon. Will Davis is out of here, and Abe Mosseri, he's in. So too is Calacanis.
Limp calling worked out for Calacanis last time. This time he's got both his opponents dominated.
The flop, 6 ace king, check by Mosseri. Calacanis checks as well. Daniel bets 3,500.
Calacanis has flopped a pair this time. He's playing in flow, checking to the razor.
Abe's out. Calacanis calls. From 3 on the flop to 2 on the turn. Four of hearts. Check by Calacanis.
Calacanis continues to play in flow.
And a check by Negreanu. The river, Queen of spades. Bet.
Cheap this time. You're not going for the big payday. You're just going for a little small payday, huh? Well, you're not getting one.
Daniel folds.
That was good. By a long shot.
Feeling.
Huh?
Had a feeling.
Yeah, you had me crushed.
Our loose cannon's been pretty quiet lately.
I'm going to bet that you shuffle chips better than every loose cannon we're going to have. Huh? I'm going to bet that's a... I'll bet that without somebody. You like my side?
Not with me, you wouldn't.
I'm about to be a loose cannon here in a minute. This pot limit before the flop stuff's got me angry. I'm ready to zip this 40 in right now.
Just gonna zip it.
Doyle Brunson, another pocket pair.
That's another pair for the card rack, Mr. Brunson. No biggie.
Raises to 1,500. King, queen suited for David Williams. A re-raise.
Zipping.
To 4,800.
Risky play re-raising Doyle this week, especially right after announcing how tilted you are.
Action is folded back on over to Doyle Brunson.
Awful good speech here.
Doyle folds.
You can pick one.
You know, that might seem like a tight laydown, but it's easy to fold 2 10s when you're up 125K against a guy who wants to get it all in.
I'm gonna look awful smart or awful stupid.
I didn't bluff you.
Huh?
I didn't bluff.
Was it? If you had an ace, you did.
What, ace king? Oh, you had a pair.
Big pair.
Big one? Wow. 2 10s?
It's a coin flip.
Yeah. Well, I figured that's the best I can bid.
That is in that spot. Yeah.
David looking at Queen 10. Under the gun, raises to 1,200. Will Davis is going to play this hand, making the call.
Our loose cannon getting a little loose.
Action folds over to Daniel, who makes the call. Doyle makes it a 4-person party. The flop, ace, ace, 4, 2 clubs. Daniel checks, Doyle checks. Williams fires 4,000. Will Davis is out, Daniel's out.
Remember what the hell ahead. Yep.
So's Doyle.
And the C-bet is good.
He's ready to. That wasn't a good action flop, for you. That's not a good, like, I'll bluff you. Yeah. Yeah.
Williams picks up a pot of more than 9,000, and our loose cannon's got to get it going, Joe.
He's really starting to run out of time here.
How about pocket sevens?
Seems like a good a hand as any.
Raises to 1,200. Mosseri folds. Calacanis, ace-4 suited.
We can talk American Idol. This is on Fox.
Makes the call.
Do you watch American Idol?
Daniel's
Watch
out.
American Idol.
So's Doyle.
You should.
And David Williams looking at Jack-5 offsuit.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Loose cannon's in pretty good shape heading into this flop.
3 Queen 6. Bet of 3,000 by Davis.
Only one overcard. Pretty good flop for Will.
Calacanis makes the call.
Calacanis is either floating here or he's got just too much money.
Deuce of clubs on the turn. Will fires 10,000.
If Calacanis was in fact floating and is going to try to bluff Will, this is a tough board to do it on. Especially since Will's playing it like he's got it.
Calacanis lays it down.
Nice little pot for Will. It's a step in the right direction. Looked like Jason was maybe up to something nefarious with that ace-4, but decided to kick it in.
So Will Davis picks up a nice little pot, but he is still stuck nearly 24 grand. Let's take a look at the leaderboard where Doyle Brunson remains all smiles, the only player up over 6 figures. Daniel Negreanu also showing a profit.
And remember, our loose cannon, Will Davis, gets nothing if he doesn't make a profit in the next 29 hands.
Fellas, it's come to an end again. Will, you only have one more session left. Do you think you can do it?
That's up to Daniel. Are you ready?
I'm ready to gamble. You just got to start getting your gambling shoes on.
My gambling shoes have been on.
You're too tight for a loose cannon.
All right,
Let's go.
guys, join us tomorrow night to see if the loose cannon can stay alive. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. See you next time.
For Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you tomorrow night.
What's up?
One more, huh?
That's it.
Are you tired?
No, are you tired?
Good.
Doyle's got to be tired. You got to be tired.
Doyle's not tired.
He's ready to play another 2 days.
This is Doyle's last kiss for good luck. One session left.
The preceding was a presentation from PokerStars.com.